So, today we're going to tackle a question that can make or break any project. Who's really in charge? We're going to explore how a company's structure isn't just some boring chart on a wall. It's actually the invisible force that decides who gets to call the shots. You've been there, right? Stuck on a project, getting pulled in a million different directions, and you're just left wondering who has the final say here. Is it the project manager, your department head? Is it someone you've barely even met? It's a super common frustration. And the answer, well, it's usually hiding in plain sight. And here's where it is. It's baked right into your company's formal hierarchy. The way your organization is actually built, its very DNA, determines where the power sits, who holds the purse strings, and exactly how much authority a project manager truly has. I want you to think of it like a spectrum of project manager power. On one end, you've got the functional structure. On the complete opposite end, you've got projectized. And smack dab in the middle is the one you've probably worked in, the matrix. So let's dive into each one. Okay, we'll start our journey at one end of that spectrum with the most traditional setup you're going to find, the good old functional organization. You know this one, it's the classic pyramid structure. Everybody reports to a single boss, and people are grouped together by what they do. All the engineers are with the engineers. All the marketers are with the marketers. It's clean, it's simple, but man, does it have a huge impact on how projects get run? So, what does this actually mean for a project manager? Well, in this world, the real power, the total control lies with the functional department manager. The PM, they're often just a part-time coordinator, not really a leader. They have very, very little authority and almost never get to control the budget. All right, let's slide over to the middle of our spectrum, to a structure that's incredibly common, the matrix organization. And let me just say, welcome to the world of having two bosses. The key word here, the one to remember, is shares. Power isn't just in one place. Instead, the project manager and the functional manager are in this constant dance, sharing responsibility for what gets done and when. It is a perpetual balancing act. But here's the thing. Matrix isn't just one single model. In what we call a weak matrix, the PM's role is pretty limited. They might be a project expediter, which is kind of like being an admin for the project, or maybe a project coordinator who has a little more juice, maybe because they report to a senior manager. And you can see it right here on this chart. As we move from a weak to a balanced and then to a strong matrix, look what happens to the project manager's authority. It just steadily climbs higher and higher. It's a true sliding scale of power. So let's break that down real quick. A weak matrix? Yeah, that feels a whole lot like the functional org we just talked about. In a balanced matrix, now you've got a full-time PM with real decision-making power. But in a strong matrix, the PM is absolutely in the driver's seat with high authority, control over the budget, and their own dedicated team. Okay, let's jump all the way to the other end of the spectrum, to a place where the project is king, and you better believe the project manager is wearing the crown. Welcome to the projectized organization. In this world, the PM has full authority, no questions asked. They aren't just coordinating, they are directing the work. They're assigning the resources, they're setting the priorities. They are the single point of accountability. It all rests on them. This is the literal mirror opposite of a functional structure. Here, the entire company is organized around projects, not departments. Team members, they report directly to the PM, who has total control over both the work and the money. So after seeing this whole spectrum, you might be thinking one of these structures sounds way better than the others. But, it's really not that simple. Each and every one comes with its own set of pros and cons. Let's just look at this comparison. In a functional organization, you get access to deep expertise, but nobody really owns the whole project, which leads to a lot of finger pointing. In a matrix, you get better project control for sure, but your team members are constantly being pulled between two bosses, which is a recipe for conflict. And in a projectized org, you get amazing focus and commitment, but you might have resources doing the same job on different teams, and people are left wondering what's next for them when their project ends. Now, we've focused a lot on power and structure, but there's a bigger payoff to moving toward a more project-focused company. It's not just about how you work now. It's about what you're building for the future. See, as an organization becomes more and more projectized, it develops something incredibly valuable, institutional memory. It starts building this library of assets that makes every single future project easier and more successful. And these things are known as organizational process assets, or OPAs for short. The easiest way to think of them is as your company's collected wisdom and toolset, all the plans, policies, procedures, and historical knowledge that can give your project a serious advantage. And these OPAs basically fall into two main buckets. First, you've got your formal processes and procedures. That's the how we do things around here stuff. And second, you've got the corporate knowledge base, which is the what we've learned from the past repository. We're talking about real, tangible things here. Project plan templates, standard guidelines, risk databases from past projects, and my personal favorite, lessons learned databases. For a project manager, this stuff is absolute gold. And the benefit is just so clear. With strong OPAs, you are not starting from scratch every single time. You can spend way more time solving new problems and less time reinventing the wheel. You get to focus your energy on what makes your project unique. So, I want you to take a hard look at your own workplace. Now that you understand the spectrum, from functional to projectized, ask yourself, is your organization's structure helping your project succeed, or is it actually hurting them? Is it an asset, or is it a roadblock? That's a question worth thinking about.